Well, every year we look forward to going by the Trimble Navigation Exhibit because there's always something new, a remarkable display of technology there every year. And we visited with the North American Regional Manager for Trimble Agriculture, Matt Hesse, who showed us all that was new this year for the farmers attending the Farm Progress Show.
The new display that we launched is the CFX 750. It brings us into our entry-level market. The usability of the system enhances quite dramatically. It's now a touchscreen system, so the expandability of our products is much easier for the growers and end users because the simple and the ease of use is what we're after. It also has an integrated GPS system as well as the GLONASS system. So as we've been hearing a lot of the talks with the GPS satellites and things going on up in the skies, the future-proof and the expandability for GLONASS is pretty important. So now we get both constellations, so the amount of runtime pretty much goes to 24 hours without having to worry about the GPS. It also offers the ability to go with an RTK radio built into it, or you can run off a VRS Now network using the cell phone modems and things like that. The CFX 750 really goes after as well as the connected farm, the wireless transmissions, and that brings the whole thing together, because obviously in the field, the more time you can be doing of something less, and the more time you farm, and the more productivity and efficiency you get with it. So it allows us to expand in other areas as well. Our Field IQ system, which is a more intense sprayer application, tying into the machines, allows us to expand quite rapidly with it.
And the display, as I understand it, your new display, you can plug cameras into it, a couple of cameras.
That's correct. So we have 2 video inputs, so it allows the user to select 1 or 2 or none, but it allows them to add basically almost any type of camera and monitor different things. And we know that there's many things that people want to monitor, and some of these implements are pretty big, and you can't see left or right or too far behind you, so you can run some cables and run a camera back there, and there's no more trying to understand or guess what's going on. And combines and grain carts have been a big hit for many years, and to monitor the grain coming out of the spout is pretty important.
The display, I understand correctly, is the kind of thing that should help that producer get into this technology for someone who really hasn't immersed themselves yet.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one thing that Trimble has really gone after, is to listen to the customers and know exactly what we need to put out in the system, because every day, we only touch these things a couple times a year sometimes, and to retrain all the time isn't the most efficient time of their use. So we need to make it very easy, and that's one thing we really go after, and our expandability of the product, so grower can start with this display, have the same user functionality on this display as our mainstream display or FMX display, and work back and forth without having any retraining curves.
Field IQ, you can use with a variety of operations, right?
Correct. Trimble is fully immersed into the flow control market. Field IQ is the Trimble flagship, and we will continue to expand with that product. But number one, at the show, we have expanded into the sprayers and spreader markets, where we can tie directly into the OEM sprayers, and we can use the switches on the machine. We can control up to such as 48 rows or even 48 nozzles. So we have a liquid block system that we can actually control down to the nozzle if someone chooses to. Use the Rawson controller on the pump, so we can slow the pump down as we start shutting off nozzles. And so now if a sprayer has 3 sections and they want to expand into a much more precision, this is a system that will allow them to do it. So they can start with that display and expand from that. And the entry level of the system, of the pricing and all the works, allows that grower to get into that real quick.
Matt has a lot more information to share with growers. If you just visit his website, you can go to trimble.com/agriculture.